Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I've struggled for a long time to figure out what I want to do online and how I want to represent myself and what I want to share. There's a lot of things that I like to do. It's hard for me to narrow my focus on one thing. But right now, what feels right is documenting how I feel and what life is. Because even when you have figured out what life is and what it takes to be happy, and knowing that everything is possible, and wherever you are right now, that's where you're meant to be. Even after getting to that point, there are still gonna be days when things are hard. There are wounds that you still have to learn from. There are still situations that you have to endure. You want to be in the video with me? Yeah? Say hello. Say hello, guys. At this moment, I feel like I'm going through one of my old wounds. There's days where I am sad, but even in the sadness, I understand that that is how we learn from what we've gone through. I feel like my purpose in this life is to help people through what they're going through by what I go through and what I learn from it. My wife just left yesterday for California for military training, and I feel like I was going through it. She was supposed to leave Sunday. I dropped her off Sunday. Then that night she came back and I wasn't happy. I felt like emotionally I was drained. When I dropped her off, I cried, and it was hard that having to pick her back up and knowing that she was still gonna be here for another day felt like heavy. Like it was too much. Like I mourned, like I grieved the process of not being around her to then have to pick her up. So I was annoyed, and it didn't help that I had chips that day. This is just my point of view. It's something that I've noticed. Any red chip, hot Cheetos, anything that has red food coloring fucks with my brain. It does. Like, being somebody that doesn't eat chips on a regular basis and then doing it, I notice the shift. Red dye in my food makes me angry. And it's just something that I've noticed. My emotional awareness and my intelligence when it comes to my emotions allow me to communicate with her, still angry, still making comments. Right after I make my comment, I would say, "It is not your fault. I'm dealing with a lot. I'm feeling a lot of anger and I'm feeling a lot of emotions." And she was amazing. Even though she was leaving and she was gonna endure a month of just a lot of crap, she was still able to be there for me. And I can't thank her enough. I love that girl. She has just been such a rock. And I think because she was leaving, I feel like I didn't know how to process my emotions, even though I have the tools and I have the communicational skills and I have everything that I've learned. Food has been my shield for a long time. So when I feel something and I'm not mentally, whether prepared for it or in the right state of mind, I do fall and I do have my moments. Before my wife left, I was excited and I told her this is going to be good for us. I can work on my fitness. I can work on things that I wanted to work on. Because I was hurt when I was younger, food became a shield for me. So it was a way for me to hide my body. Everything we've learned from our wounds is always going to be there. But there are times that we still need to work on those wounds because we haven't fully completed the lesson. I want to help whoever's watching understand that even when you go through these low moments and these low energy days, it's okay. Sometimes we all need downtime. Imagine you diving into your teenage emotions. So we're trying to heal that area. So sometimes you still have the guilt of not being productive. You still have the guilt or the shame of whatever you used to feel back then. So while you're working on the emotional wounds you have for those years of your life, you start feeling like all of those emotions are true now, even if it's a glimpse of them. And I feel like working through this now, talking about this, talking to myself about this in the past few days, that's how we get to healing. That's how we get to where we want to be. We just need to express it. It doesn't have to be to anyone. It just has to be to ourselves. Journal it, meditate, allow that space for the healing to happen. That's what I want to come out of the videos that I create. I want to help give you guys a space to understand that whatever you're going through, whether it's a high or low, it's valid. Whether you're emotionally feeling like your teenage self or you're emotionally feeling like your child self, whatever you're going through, it is okay. And it doesn't make all that you've learned go away. You're just having a moment where those emotions that were hidden and pushed aside when you were younger, they are needing to be felt. They are asking to be heard. But that doesn't change who you are and your progress. Well, it does change who you are for the better, because you're allowing yourself to have that expression and that emotional state of being. Life is not about finding situations or events or people to make us happy. Life is about finding all that is in you and all that you've experienced and all that you want to experience, and knowing that you don't need anything else but the understanding that you are enough, that you are where you need to be. And we learn from every moment, whether you're rich, whether you're poor, whether you're doing all right. None of those things bring you the peace that it is to find wholeness and just being. And I know that it takes a long time, but that's the beauty of it. The beauty of it is I was just having an emotional moment 10 minutes ago, and now just by discussing it in front of a phone, yes, this is directed to the people that it reaches, but it is literally in front of a phone. You can literally sit in front of a mirror, sit in front of your window, whatever it is. But just by discussing and just by allowing this to be, you're complete. Anything outside of you, it's just to add a little spark in your life. But the biggest spark that you can add in your life is burn bright in here. You are it, and that is all that is. That is all you need. And how I came to learn that, not by reading, not by anything. What really got me there was the years I spent in North Carolina, kind of isolated by the situation. And while my wife was at work, putting in the work into meditating and having that aloneness it really brought peace to my heart. And going into the wounds and going into everything that you have up here, and that sometimes it doesn't allow us. Sorry, I move around a lot. My legs are falling asleep. But I know that it takes a long time to get to that oneness, to the wholeness, to understanding what it is to just be, and to go out in the world and know that every experience you have, it's okay. Every experience in the moment. Again, I am also somebody that still reacts. It takes a long time to get out of these conditional situations that we're in. How do I even say that? It takes a long time to get out of these habits that we have because we've learned them our whole life. So when something happens, I work so hard not to be reactive. So there will be times where I assess situations and I understand it. There's other times when my emotions or my cycle, they don't have me in the best state of mind. So I am not very good at assessing a situation. So I just react. And we all have those moments. Understand that you don't have to be perfect. You can make a mistake a million of times. But just by saying, okay, next time, I'm going to try to do better. That's all it takes. You don't have to be better right on the spot. You just have to have the intention to be better. And again, going back to how I got to that mentality, it is just honestly, and I know you hear this a lot, practice meditation. I started with 10 minutes. And honestly, when you start those 10 minutes, you're gonna spend it trying to shut your mind up. You're gonna try to quiet your mind for probably a month before you actually get to meditating. And no, because I believe that's still meditating, because you're putting in the work to get to that quietness. So I think that's just how it starts. Practice makes perfect. We all know that. So understand that at the beginning, you don't have to quiet the brain like a switch. It's not possible. We have conditioned our brain to always be moving, always be thinking, always be on the look or alert on what is happening, what is going to happen, what we think is going to happen. So understand that it takes a long time. And just be patient. But start. Practice it. Meditation and those quiet moments, once you get there, that's where I learned wholeness and oneness. And the reason why I got this tattoo, the flower of life. We're eternal. We're oneness. We're all connected. We are all living different realities based on what we have experienced. When we have judged for ourselves, that is the only reason we can judge other people. We all have those moments when we fall back in. Just have the intention to fall back out and redirect yourself. We can practice to be better, but it is up to you. You have to make those choices. I appreciate you guys staying around. I appreciate you listening. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Come on the journey with me. On a journey to you. Have a good day.